Hello, everyone. My name is Derek Raridan, and welcome back to Talking Pack, the official sports podcast of the Nevada Sagebrush. I am joined by Dominic Gutierrez, as usual, and also a special guest. We really don't get to talk to professional athletes all that much, especially from Nevada, but we have Toa Taua with us today, former Nevada running back from, what was it, 2018 to 22, if I remember correctly?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. He rushed 500 or 855 times for just below 4,000 rushing yards with 37 touchdowns, 33 rushing, and you are the only player to ever lead Nevada in rushing for 5 straight seasons. So, a little bit of notch on your belt right there, a little history for you. So, thank you for coming in, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, of course. Like I said earlier, this is a great opportunity. We really don't get to talk to former athletes, though there always has been some inquiries. So thank you for taking the time and everything that matter.
Most definitely, man. Thank you.
So, um, just to kind of jump right into everything, you've been part of the Michigan Panthers for a few years now. First when they were in the USFL, and then when they transitioned to the UFL. So, just like if you can, just tell us how you felt physically and mentally about football these past few years, especially with your changing role.
Yeah, so I've been with Michigan for this will be my third year technically. The journey from leaving Nevada has been it's had its bumps and throughout the road, but it's been a blessing through the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations. It definitely shaped me to be who I am today. And there was a lot of uncertainty about what was going to happen after training camp. After I got cut last year, after training camp, they didn't bring me back till the last game of the season, and I didn't even get to play in the playoff game after that. So when I got cut this year, it was just what really kept me together was faith and my family. They were especially my pops. My pops was the biggest supporter in my corner, and my mother too. But them two was just always in my ear, like, no, you got a lot of football left in you. Like you can still play this game for a very long time. You just gotta make sure your mind's right. Not fall in the slump, and just were in my corner the whole time. And when I had got cut, it was just me relying on a lot of faith and hard work to when the opportunity did present itself again, what was I going to do with it?
You mentioned, having go through multiple different cuts, making teams back and forth, all this kind of stuff. And I know a lot of people, especially that I've talked to recently on Nevada's football team and just, sports in general, rely on faith and family. Can you just dive in a little bit more about like what they did, what went on during those time periods, and then just kind of like give us like a full picture of that?
Yeah, so leaving Nevada, it was tough because that's where I originated my home at being, and from leaving California. I looked at Nevada, especially Reno, just like a place I'd want to lay my head down from years to come. And having my whole family out there was a blessing. And when I had got cut the first time, I resorted back to Reno and finalized some stuff. I was working multiple jobs. I worked at a golf course up there as well, Arrow Creek. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked at Arrow Creek up there, and I worked at a gym up there in Reno, and it was a place I really called home, and being able to rely on my family like that. They are my biggest backbone, and it meant a lot to me because I have a 4-year-old son too, and he was living in Reno, but his mom found a job in Cali, which was a better situation for him. And me leaving back and forth from football to coming back, it was a better situation for her and my son to go back to California. So I have another brother where I grew up at and went to high school and grew up at in Central Coast, California. I would go back there, and like this past time when I had got cut, I'd go back there, I'd work, and live with my other brother that lives over there, and like I said, my family just been there for me through the highs and the lows. So without them, it'd be completely impossible for me to be where I'm at today.
And looking at Reno, Northern Nevada as a whole, obviously, like you just said, it meant a lot to you and everything. But do you come back often and visit, and just kind of if you do, or whatever the case is, just does it still have that kind of home feeling to you? Like you come back, you feel like you're in a good spot mentally.
Yeah, most definitely. Reno will always have that home feeling to me, no matter what it is, no matter what the situation is. Nevada will always have that home feeling to me. I love Reno. I love Reno so much, man. They've been nothing but blessings to me and my family. So they'll always have a special place in my heart.
So looking more towards your time in Michigan, you've had an elevated role recently. You already have a few touchdowns, played in almost every game in the young season so far. So, like, what does it mean knowing that through all these trials and tribulations, you've been able to contribute to your team in such a vast way so far?
Oh man, it means a lot, especially just like I said, I've been here for the past 3 years and not really have had the coach's trust in the best ways, and being able to hear like from some of the coaches, especially like my special teams coach and my running backs coach, like, no, I trust you. You know what I'm saying? That goes a long way for me. That gives me a lot more confidence than coming in and not hearing those words. So having the coaches, have faith in me and let me go out there and play free. It means a lot to me. It makes my job a lot easier.
And then, sadly, I haven't been able to tune into too many games. But do you still have that cash touchdown where you throw the cash in the air, or the celebration where you throw the cash in the air by chance, or is it something different nowadays?
No. Yeah. Lately I just been blacking out, man. Just being in the end zone. Just the light's never too bright, but when you get in the end zone, it's definitely just a blackout moment for me. There's now I start scheming up something here soon for the touchdown celebration.
Noted. I just remember that from, I think it was your senior year, which when me and him were, I think we were sophomores that year.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, man, I wonder if he still does it,
Yeah, I might have to bring something back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. And that's what I want a little bit about, leagues like the UFL and everything. Like, it kind of gives those players, you graduate college, don't make it to the NFL in the first round, so you have these other routes to go through. But I mean, is that kind of your still ultimate goal of you want to get to the NFL one day, or kind of what's your progression of, you're playing right now, but what's kind of your, couple year goal and goal?
Definitely want to be at the next level, and I think that's most of the guys in here, if not 99% of the guys that play in this league. They want to go back to the NFL. A lot of my teammates been in the league for 5+ years. Some of them are first round draft picks, second round draft picks. And I think that's definitely the main part of playing in these leagues. But for right now, I'm just trying to focus to be where my feet at, and be present and be in the moment and enjoy the moment, because there was times where I didn't even have this opportunity. So being able to have this opportunity in front of me and being able to play football right now, it means the most to me. I can't get too far ahead of myself and think too far ahead. I just got to be where my feet's at and play football and play at the highest level I can.
Yeah. And
But
being
I definitely want to be back in the NFL, man. Definitely want to get my feet back in the floor, man.
Yeah. And just being in that spot that you're at now, I mean, like you said, like, it's a blessing just to be playing in general. And you talked about, your family and everything that has helped you, kind of get back into that mindset. But I guess more, especially from your playing days at Nevada, between whether it was coaches or former teammates, whatever, is there anyone specifically that has come to mind either in the past or even now that, something they did in your life that touched you and that, kind of just keeps giving you that drive?
Obviously, my son. Obviously, he's my biggest why in my life. But also my older brother, Bob. He was my coach over there in Nevada.
Yeah.
I just texted him after the game, this past game, and I was like, man, I just said thank you, man, because I get emotional just thinking about it, because, man, that guy, he's done so much not only for me but for my family, and he carries himself in such a great way, and he's one of my biggest inspirations growing up in life, and being where I'm at right now. I just look back and I go back to everything he's coached me, and I still got notebooks from Nevada from sitting in those meetings, and I literally go back and I read about what I was writing down and what I was seeing on the field and what he was teaching me, and there's just so much that I when I'm on the field, I literally think about being in that meeting rooms with him and just like, oh man, this is what he would tell me to do right now, and it carried a long way. So I'm super thankful for that guy, man. And yeah, I talk to him daily. That's my guy, man. He's one of my best friends, and I'm very blessed to have the relationship I have with him.
Yeah. And then kind of going back, you think back to when your brother and everything were at Nevada in the talks and the rooms and everything that matter. During those times, what were some of those moments that you think back on and you're like, this was amazing, let's keep pushing, like adding on to what you were just talking about, or some games that you were just like, yeah, okay, cool, I know what I can do, I got my motivation, let's keep going?
Oh man, there's multiple moments, man. There was definitely multiple moments. As are you guys talking as far as just me and my brother, or just in general?
It could be whatever you want to, like if it's just you and your brother, or if it's like, hey, there's like a special moment with, like, I think you were both with Coach Wilson and Norvell, so like any of those times as well.
Yeah, man. Oh man, it's every time I think about it, I blink, man. It's because it just went by so fast. But there's definitely a moment in a Purdue game, at halftime when my brother just came and looked at me and just was like, this game can be on us. This game could be on us. And he's talking as an offense in general. And but I just remember that look that he gave me like my sophomore junior year, and I remember just him giving me that look, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to lock in for real. It's time to lock in. I remember going back on the field, and that it's funny that you guys brought it up because man, it's one of those times where I always look back in times of adversity where it's like I just think of him looking at me to give me that look like, all right, man, I gotta lock in, man. It's time to buckle up.
As someone who has played sports before and has had that look from both my little brother and my dad, yeah,
Yeah,
understandably so.
Yeah, it's time. When you get that look, especially from Pops, man. They lucky my Pops wasn't in the locker room for after the time. Man, I tell you what, if Pops give you that look, you know what time it is.
He looks over, just goes, all right, man.
No words need to be said, man.
Yes.
And because I was like, I didn't even play football either. I was like, I just did baseball, but it's like the stands are so close, and it's like if you're up to bat or something, then it's like just go by, they shouldn't swung, and I'm like, I don't want to look in the stands because I'm like, I know I'm gonna get that look too, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
I know.
No, yeah, it's cool, man. So my pops just finally came and watched me play for the first time up there in St. Louis.
Oh, nice.
And so, talking about that look, man, I was walking on the sideline, seeing him up there in the crowd. I'm like, man, I love you, man. I'm so glad you're here, man. And it just makes you think back those times when you are in youth football or you are coming up, middle school, high school, and, Pops is on you tough. And, just seeing him relaxed up there, man, it's a great feeling.
Yeah. Going with a little bit of Nevada as well. Have you kept up with the program ever since you graduated, or at least like the happenings around people that were on your team at the same time? Like thinking coaches, like again, Norvell over at Colorado State, Wilson's now at TCU, and like any other teammates that have kept up or that you've talked to in recent memory.
Yeah, no, I talk to my boys all the time, man. Those are some of the guys I talk to daily, like every single day, man. Like those, we got group chats, that from my Nevada boys that we just sitting there talking daily, no matter what it is. All social media, text messages, like yeah, we keep in touch a lot. As far as coaches, I got a couple buddies that GA now and take on like assistant roles at Colorado State. And I think a few at Nevada still. So man, I always keep in touch with my, with the pack, man. Those my boys, man. That's my life.
I get it. How do you feel about Carson Strong being over at Colorado State now as a full-time coaching position too? I know
Oh man, it's my guy, man. Yeah, when he had told us about it the first time, or he had brought it up thinking about doing it, man, we were all just like, man, that's your calling, man. That's what you do, man. Like the game needs knowledge like you around it, and especially college athletes right now, they want to be a sponge and soak in all the information from a guy like Carson Strong.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about obviously you're playing as long as you can go. But have you ever put any kind of thought into doing a coaching gig at some point in your life?
Yeah, I've thought about it for sure. I've definitely thought about it. But there's a lot of things I want to do in life, man, especially after football, man. I was just applying to be go to firefighter academy, but when I cut to, so I was in the works of trying to do a lot of things, man. But God's calling and God's timing is a lot better than mine. So whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, good for you though.
I get it.
Yeah, and that's what sticking with the program, Nevada program as it is now. I don't know if like Derek said, if you kept tabs on like the current state of the program or anything, or if like the head coach now, Jeff Cho, like he came in a year ago, and he's kind of been like a blue chip kind of like blue collar kind, just really digging in, Northern Nevada roots, Northern Cali roots kind of thing. So I didn't know like if you knew about Cho or any of the program now, like if you had any thoughts on that, or just the idea of like caring about this region for football, because I feel like you get a lot of other states that come in here. But
yeah, no, I haven't got the chance to meet Coach yet, but I did ride it. When I flew back to Reno one time, I did fly the same plane as him, same flight.
Oh.
And I was just too nervous to introduce myself, man. I'm like, he's not even gonna know who the hell I am. I'm just gonna be some random guy coming up to him, bothering him. I didn't want to. He looked like he was in a rush, and I didn't want to be one of those guys. So I was like, man, I'm gonna catch him at the facility one of these days.
That's fair. Kind of transitioning to a different point. You were around when the transfer portal was introduced in college football, but that and NIL have grown to insane lengths recently, to say the least. I know everybody's been freaking out over the quarterback from Tennessee switching to UCLA for supposedly was money. Scheme, but
yeah,
we can all speculate on whatever the actual reason would be. We're going off of his word, obviously. But like, what do you think about the current college landscape, especially like since you were in one that was kind of transitioning to where it is today? And would you ever want to experience something that, like the current landscape as it is today, if you were still in school?
That's a great question, man. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that can disagree, but I like the way college football is turning into, man. Like the guys are making money, dude. Guys are, still playing football and providing for their families. Some guys come from nothing and, come in and getting some bags, and changing their family's life to where they know they're probably not going to get another opportunity at the next level. So why not take advantage of it, man? If somebody offered me $1.5 million in college, man, I'd be a fool if I didn't take it, So I mean, as long as you still got love for the game and still, being able to provide for your family, man, I don't see no problems with it, man. I think it's cool. I think it's great. I think it's going to be, obviously the game is changing, but the game is changing every single day. So, I think it's cool, man.
Yeah, and sticking with the transfer portal idea, because obviously, especially now, you see players, they'll be with a program, they'll start with a program for a year or two, and then they're out, and then they'll go somewhere else, stay there for a year, you're out, But in your case, you were with Nevada your whole college career, so I guess just a testament on, I guess you could say loyalty or whatnot, but is that something, especially with the landscape of the transfer portal, is that something you would like to see more out of college athletes? Or
yeah, it's almost tough because everyone's situation is different, so I can never say I don't like guys moving from school to school. Obviously it's not ideal in some cases, some people are benefiting off it, but for the most part, I mean, I think staying at a program and going through adversity and going through the ringer of it, I think it definitely shapes you for situations in life. But also, like, you could get in the transfer portal and the grass could be greener on the other side. I'm not saying it always is, but my brother always told me, grass may not be greener on the other side, but you just got to water your own. And that gave me a perspective of like, I could make it to the NFL here, I could make it to the NFL somewhere else, or I could be politicked out by another school and not even get a chance to see the field, So, just like I said earlier, man, just being where my feet's at, and that was huge to me. And if you're a portal guy, you're a portal guy. For me, it's tough because everyone's situation is different, man.
Yeah, I get it.
And then one more thing on the transfer portal. You mentioned, these athletes getting like 1.5 million, and if they say no, you may want to go get them checked out real quick. But I've talked with a bunch of people, and they've said similar things. Like, yeah, a bag is a bag, but like, is this realistic for someone that's 18, 19 years old, or even 20, 21, 22 years old, and how much that could possibly go to someone's head? Do you ever think that could be like a possible drawback of it, or are you just sort of like hey, they can be smart, let's help them get to that point where they can be financially responsible in that too?
Yeah, definitely. There's, as you can see nowadays, there's streamers growing up, getting 13, 14 years old, getting, these crazy contract, streaming Twitch deals or whatever you may be on. So, a college athlete coming in, making his money for his performance wise or whatever the case may be, I think there's definitely ways we can, go about it, and, even just start teaching, financial classes or whatever it is, like, putting them in like for the college programs, whatever you can do to help them, be smart with their money or help them invest in any ways they can, just guiding them throughout the way instead of just, throwing them the bone and being like, go buy the Lamborghini with the whole 1.5, so.
Right.
I guess there's pros and cons to it, but, like I said, everyone's situation is different. So you can be the 1.5 mil, shoot, man, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I get you.
And then I'll hit you with one more point. Looking back on Nevada as a program, like I said, you were there for 5 years. Was there anything you'd want to, a message you'd want to say to current or even future Wolfpack players, just kind of what it means to be, Nevada Wolfpack? Like, what's the kind of the mentality you should take into it to be part of this program, that kind of thing?
Oh man, just keep going, man. There's gonna be bumps along the road, but just keep going, man, and control what you can. And at the end of the day, the work that you put in is gonna show it on that field. And there's gonna be fun. There's gonna be fun a long ways from just college. So have fun, but stay focused, and don't get too distracted and buy into the the crowd. Just be your own wave and do your work, man. Because I have no regrets going back and looking back at my career in Nevada. But if I could have just went back one time and just did another gasser, just touch the line or do another stare, another burpee, whatever it was, man, I'd for sure give it up.
Yeah, you might have to come back at one point and do a little see if Coach Schutt will let you go on the field or something, do some drills real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah, so I think that's good.
Sweet. Well, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. Again, this was an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
And it was great to hear your insights on some of this stuff and reminisce about everything. So again, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys for real.
And good luck on the rest of the season too, by the way. I'm looking forward to hearing some really good things, hopefully.
Heck yeah, man. We pack family, so man.
Yes, sir.
Boys.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, thank you everybody for watching and listening, because we're on video this time. This episode of Talkin' Pack. Be sure to follow us at Talkin' Pack and at Nevada Sagebrush on every platform. And tune in next week for more content. We're almost done. It's 2.5 weeks until we're done too.
Yeah,
shoot.
We're graduating this in 2 weeks. So.
Oh, let's go, man. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll tell you what, that was the only thing. My mom never asked me for one thing in life, man. All she ever asked me was for to graduate. And if that woman had to ask me to do it, I said, I'm going to go do it, man. So, man, congrats to you boys, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it, bro. Yeah. So, again, thank you everybody for watching and listening. And tune in. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.